Hi dear children, welcome back to another session of our class. Today we will be continuing the tissues. So today we will be dealing with complex tissues. Complex tissues. So different types of tissues we discussed, and different types we discussed until now was made up of only one type of cell. Right, until now we were discussing different types of cells, parenchyma, sclerenchyma, collenchyma, but more or less they are made up of only a single type of cell. So now onwards, and in the last class also we discussed that the permanent tissue is of two types, simple permanent tissue, and this is the second categorization, that is the complex permanent tissue. So the main difference between the complex permanent tissue and the simple permanent tissue is complex permanent tissues are made up of more than one type of cells, but in common they are doing the same function. Clear? Complex tissues are made up of more than one type of cells, but in common they do the same function. Okay. So two main complex tissues are involved in plants, and they include xylem and phloem. This you have studied in your lower classes, isn't it? So these are the conducting tissues or the vascular tissues. The conducting property is a distinctive feature of plants, isn't it? Conducting property. So here we are going to deal with the xylem and phloem. So first we can deal with the xylem. Xylem. Xylem in turn constitutes four elements. How many elements? Four elements. That includes xylem tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma. Simply you can tell this as tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. Okay. So these are the various elements, four elements of xylem. In this xylem, what is the function of xylem? They conduct. Yes, they are the conducting vessels which are meant for conduction of water from the roots to different parts of the body, isn't it? So when coming to the cells, type of cells in xylem, xylem cells are having thick walls and many of them are dead in nature. Okay, so that constitutes its strength. Okay, and also in xylem the water is conducted vertically, that is more or less in one direction, upward direction, no backward direction is there. Okay, from roots to upward. Water is always absorbed by the roots, right? So from roots to upward. Another thing, this is tracheids and vessels. They are the tubular structures which are mainly concerned for the conduction of water. Okay, tracheids and vessels are tubular structure and they are meant for the conduction of water. And xylem parenchyma, they stores food. What do? They stores food. And xylem fibers, they are more or less supportive in nature. Okay, they add support to the plants or to the tissues. Clear? So they are the four elements. So you have to go through this figure, but no need of drawing. Just understand xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers, then tracheids and vessels. So you go through the figure that is depicted in your text also. Okay, so let's move to the next portion, that is phloem. What is phloem meant for? Phloem is meant for the conduction of food, isn't it? For the conduction of food. So again, phloem is having 4 elements. They include sieve tubes, companion cells, that same as that of xylem, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. Okay, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. In this, the sieve tubes and this companion cells are tubular in structure and also they are perforated in nature. Okay, and again phloem parenchyma stores food. And also this, unlike xylem, this phloem can conduct the food into all direction, isn't it? Food has to be reached to every parts of the plant, right? So it is ensured by the functioning of phloem. Okay, then so that's all about the phloem elements. I hope it's all clear to you. So complex tissues consist of only 2 things, xylem and phloem, and you study their elements and their functions. Okay, so that's all about the plant tissue. So far we were discussing about plant tissues, right? And we discussed permanent tissue, simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So that is over. So we are moving to the next portion of our topic, that is animal tissues. Okay, so this is animal tissues. Again, animals, which is a multicellular organism, again made up of many types of tissues, right? So I will check your just knowledge. So see, while we are inhaling or while we breathe, what happens to our chest cavity? Our chest cavity increases, isn't it? When we exhale, our chest cavity decreases. So what make this increase in the cavity of our chest? Why our chest is contracting and relaxing? Yes, there comes the effect of muscles. Muscles are playing a vital role in the contraction and relaxation. Correct? Yes. Then we inhale oxygen, and after inhaling, after this contraction and relaxation by the role of muscles, we inhale oxygen. Now that goes into the deeper part, and which is our respiratory organ? Yes, it is the lungs, right? So the oxygen now reaches into the lungs. Now from the lungs, it has to be transported to different parts of the body, especially into the interior of the cell, right? Then only cell can work and we will get the energy, right? So how these oxygen is being transported to different parts of our body? Correct, by blood, another tissue. So I'm drawing your attention to know that these muscles, these blood and all are types of animal tissues. Clear? So blood is a connective tissue. Which type of tissue? Connective tissue. So all together we are going to deal with 4 types of animal tissues. For time being, 4 types of animal tissues are enough and more for you to study in 9th standard. Okay, they include epithelial tissue, then connective tissue, then muscular tissue, then last one but not least, this is a nervous tissue. Only these types of tissues you are going to study for this academic. Okay, so today we will be dealing with the first one, that is the epithelial tissue. Have you heard of epithelial tissue before? Yes, epithelial tissue is the covering or the protective tissue. Epithelial tissue is the covering or the protective tissue. Not only this, Many are there. We are going to see one by one. Okay. So almost all organs are covered by this epithelial tissue, and each organ is separated from other organ by means of this epithelial tissue. You understand? Lungs will be covered by an epithelial tissue. Lungs will be get separated by heart. Heart is being separated by another epithelial tissue. So lungs and heart will be separated, and they are differently separated. Got the point? Okay. Then the variety of examples for epithelial tissues include skin, alveoli. What is alveoli? Which is seen inside the lungs. Then kidney tubules. Then salivary ducts, esophagus, respiratory tract. Many are there. We are going to see each one, and also blood vessels also are there. So each example, and we are going to see by categorizing the types of epithelial tissue. Before going to the categories of epithelial tissue, let me tell about the features of epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissues are tightly packed. Since they are forming the protective covering, they should be tightly packed. They are tightly packed and they form a continuous sheet. Without any intercellular spaces, and they are having only less amount of cementing materials between them. So they don't have any intercellular spaces. They will be tightly packed. So any substance that is entering or exiting our body, from our body or to our body, any particle is coming or going out, they have to pass this epithelial tissue. So the permeability of the cell will be regulated by this epithelial tissue. Okay. So we are going to see the different types of epithelial tissue. So I hope you understood what is epithelial tissue, where it is being seen, what are the features, and now we are going to see the different, I wrote in a shorthand form, different types of epithelial tissue. First of all, we can see simple squamous epithelial tissue. How it is being pronounced? Simple squamous epithelial tissue. I am not writing epithelial tissue, as we know that these are the categorization of different epithelial tissue. So first one is simple squamous. They are extremely thin and flat, and they form the delicate lining. Wherever organ needs a very much delicate lining, this type of epithelial tissue is formed or is found inside that organ. Okay, so they are seen in the lining of blood vessels, then alveoli. What is the main function of these two organs, blood vessels and alveoli? They are meant for the transportation. Here transportation of oxygen and carbon dioxide is being done, isn't it? Here the transportation of this oxygen, carbon dioxide from the cells and to the cells, and along with various waste products, hormones, minerals, whatever is needed by the body is being transported by the blood vessels. So for ensuring the high quality of transportation, they need very delicate lining of their epithelial tissue, right? That is fulfilled by simple squamous epithelium. Okay, and also they are seen in esophagus. Okay, esophagus, and also in the lining of mouth. So these are the examples for the simple squamous lining of blood vessels, alveoli, esophagus, lining of mouth. Okay. So I am rubbing it off and explaining, since my board you can see it's of short size. Okay. So we are going to see the second type, that is, one more word is added to the simple squamous epithelium, that is stratified squamous epithelium. Or it is called stratified squamous epithelium. Stratified means the squamous epithelium will be arranged in a pattern of layers. Yeah, arranged in a pattern of layers. This is to why? This is to prevent the wear and tear, to prevent the damage or wear and tear. Wear and tear. So, to prevent the wear and tear, this type of epithelium is seen. Where it can be seen? Yes, it can be seen in the skin area, especially in the this whole skin will be covered by this stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, now the third one is, let me check. Okay, columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium. Columnar, the word meaning is pillar-like. So, what would be the arrangement of this epithelium? It would be more or less pillar-like. So, they facilitate what? Absorption and secretions. So, absorption and secretion are more found in our intestine. So, columnar epithelium are seen in the intestinal region. Okay. And the fourth one is the ciliated epithelium. I hope I could write over here. Can you see? This is the fourth one. That is the ciliated epithelium. What is the ciliated epithelium? Yes, cilia is coming as an additive portion for the epithelium. So, cilia means hair-like structure. So, where it can be seen? Inside our nostrils and all we can see hair-like structure. So, ciliated epithelium are abundantly seen in the respiratory tract as they can clear off the air with the help of cilia. They can clear the microbes or the unwanted dust particles that is entering into our respiratory tract. Okay, now the fifth one is, I have to write, right? So, fifth one is cuboidal epithelium. Cuboidal epithelium. So, the epithelium is more or less cube in shape. So, that is meant for the mechanical support. They offer mechanical support and the example is kidney tubules. In kidney tubules and in salivary duct. Okay, so duct. In kidney tubules and salivary duct, this cuboidal epithelium is seen. Okay, another type of epithelium is there, that is glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium. What is glandular epithelium? That means some portions of the epithelial tissue would fold inwards and they form a multicellular gland. So, such epithelium is known as glandular epithelium. So, we discussed 5 types of, more or less 6 types of epithelium. First of all, simple squamous epithelium, then stratified simple squamous epithelium, then ciliated epithelium, then columnar epithelium, then cuboidal epithelium and glandular epithelium. You have to study along with this example. Always it's a sure question. Always it will be asked along with the examples. Okay, so I hope today's class is clear. It's a short portion. Read your textbook. Maintain a note. Clearly you have to read the textbook. Still you are having any doubt, you can contact me personally. Okay, so be safe, study carefully, be happy, and I am bidding goodbye for time being. Ta-ta, bye-bye.